So I said, who else? She said, it was all the people who lived next to me. They all knew that my husband was beating me. They used to hear my screams. They heard the screams of my child. But they didn't help me. And I said, who else? And then she said, went quiet. And then she said, the most brilliant thing that I have heard. She said, Rahul, I was also involved in that. It was not only society. It was not only my husband. But it was me. And I looked at her and I said, how can you say something like that? How can you tell me that the fact that your husband has broken your son's arm is your fault? And she said to me, because I had the power to stop him and I didn't. And today I realize that nobody can do anything to me because I'm strong enough to stop anybody from doing anything to me. And this for me was a very powerful lesson. I believe that, and this is probably because I've got my grandmother who I learned a lot from, I have my mother who I learned a lot from, my sister who I love very much and I learn a lot from. Maybe my father died when I was young, so I've been close to women. For me, the single biggest problem in this country is that women do not have the place that they deserve. Women are mistreated. Women are made to feel uncomfortable. Women are categorized. So here, even looking at you, society decides that someone is pretty. Society decides that someone is thin. Society decides that someone is smart. And these are all just things society invents. For me, all of you are beautiful. Every single one of you has a place in this country. And every single one of you has to be respected and given that place. And that is what I sit here fighting for. It disturbs me, for example, when a young lady goes to a pub in Bangalore and is thrashed by someone because she went to a pub. Whether she goes to a pub or she doesn't go to a pub, that is her decision, that is her problem. I give her that much intelligence that she knows what is good for her. But carrying out physical violence of on a woman because you don't appreciate what she does, in this country that is not acceptable. And that is something that I will contest and I will fight for. So, what is the difference between the RSS, the BJP, and us? There are numerous differences, but there is one central difference. From our perspective, we want to give space to every single person in this room. Even if we do not agree with the idea of that person, we want to give them the space to talk. And we want to be able to listen to them and say, okay, we don't agree with you. But as an Indian, as a member of this college, you have equal right to put your view across. We don't come to you saying, we have all the answers. In fact, you'll ask me many questions. And I will give you a perspective, I will give you a view. I will not be able to give you the answer. Because there are many, many different views on anything. Just now we were with the young ladies inside and they said to me, we should centralize the education system. And I said, well, actually there are issues with centralizing the education system. And we had a conversation. The conversation is what is important. Out of the conversation comes a refined perspective, a refined view. So that is what is disturbing me about the country today. That we can have FTII students being shut up and not listened to. They can go on strike for as long as they want. A member of the government does not have the decency is to go there and say, okay, why are you complaining? After that, you can say, we don't agree with you. And you're wrong. But at least go there and have a conversation. Start the conversation. And it is the same whether you talk about 2 Dalit children who were killed in Haryana and are called dogs by a central minister, or you have somebody who is killed because there is a rumor that he has eaten beef. These are all the same thing. The idea is that there are certain people in the country who have all the answers, and everybody else should not be part of the conversation. That is what I am against. To me, this country's biggest strength is what Digvijayji told me in the car today. Live and let live. We have thousands of communities, billions of people, men, women, different castes, different religions, different languages. And for 70 years, by and large, we have lived peacefully. And the only way to continue living peacefully is if all of us have a dialogue, all of us keep the conversation going, and none of us are under the mistaken illusion or the mistaken belief that we have all the answers for India. People come to me and say, what is your vision for India? My vision for India is what the people of India want. My vision for India is to go to the people of India, to go to the students of Mount Carmel, ask them, what do you want? Tell me what you want. Let's discuss what all of you want. Let's put it together, and that's the vision of India. Who is Rahul Gandhi to have a vision of India? Who is one person to come to 1.3 billion people and say, listen, I have a vision for you? No. Every one of you is absolutely capable. There are institutions like this one. You're probably going to lead this country. You're going to lead the biggest businesses. You're going to run the bureaucracy. You have a voice. You have an understanding. My job is to bring that understanding to the table. My job is to come to you, to listen to you, to talk to you and tell you, okay, I don't agree with that. That doesn't make sense. But this, what you're saying, makes sense. And for you to tell me, Mr. Gandhi, we don't agree with you. You're wrong over here. And for me to go back and say, actually, that's interesting. I was wrong. And I need to correct that. So that is the type of politics that I'm for. In one of the questions I'm often asked about democratization of the political system, Digvijayji will tell you, Parmeshwarji will tell you, that if you look at our political system today, very few people have decision-making power in it. In the central government today, and I say this with certainty, there is only one man who decides every single decision. It can't possibly be that one man has all the answers to this country. It can't be. So I'm for a dialogue, I'm for a discussion, I'm from opening up these ideas, these systems to people. I want all of you to be in the Vidhan Sabha. I want you to be in the Lok Sabha. I want you to be the ones taking the decision, because you're the people who have the information. So that's most of all what I wanted to tell you. We have some questions that you want to ask me. I think there are a number of questions some of you had on my views on education, my view on the education system. So please feel free to ask me whatever you'd like, and I'd happily answer them.
We'll have two of our students, Niang and Kartika, along here with Mr. Gandhi as we take questions from the students.
Sure. Hello, how are you? Don't call me sir, please. Come. Yeah. I'm okay, whatever you want. We can both share the mic here. Where are you from?
I'm from Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay, how nice. And you?
I'm from Kerala.
So how do we do this? You want me to sit there and you're going to do that, or should we all three stand here?
It's your stage, sir.
I prefer to stand.
Okay, fine, we're fine with that then. A very good afternoon, Carmelites. I'm Niang Pertin. I'm in third year, BA.
Hello, I'm Kartika. I'm from second year BA again.
So, as Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said, that many of us have questions for him, and he's now here ready to answer all these questions. So the floor is now open to questions. May we have the first person to ask the question, please? Anyone in the audience?
Would you like to ask a question?
I do have one.
Go ahead.
As you said about opening up dialogues and all, I wanted to say something with regard to the Northeast. Idom Sharmila has been fasting for so many years, and not just the BJP, even the Congress hasn't opened up a dialogue with them. So what do you have to say about that?
I think my view is that talking to someone never hurts. So my view is that a conversation should be begun with her. Well, we'll do it.
Okay. So can we have the first question, please?
Good afternoon, Mr. Gandhi.
We've got a question. We'll come back to you when I'm done with the answer.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gandhi. I'm Tanya Chabria, a third-year communication studies student. My question for you is, what's wrong with a suit boot ki sarkar that focuses on corporate and reforms with regard to them, as long as the government is able to provide entitlements and a security net, provided that the economy grows and tax revenue increases?
The idea of the suit boot sarkar, which I raised in the parliament, essentially if you look at the way the government is operating, the Prime Minister had mentioned that he would produce 2 crore jobs a year, right? It's perfectly okay if you're focusing on large businesses and you're producing jobs that benefit people, right? In fact, India will only succeed if 2 things happen. Number 1, that you grow the economy, and number 2, that you take the benefits of that growth and you put them into poor people. Because really the strength of this country are poor people. Our biggest strength, people say, democratic dividend. Most of that democratic dividend is poor. Largest number of young Indians are not rich. So you have to take the economic growth and you have to transfer the economic growth to those poor people. The problem with the government is that they are slashing expenditure on making that, on the money that they should be sending to poor people. They're slashing education expenditure. They're slashing healthcare expenditure. And by the way, there are no jobs. So I don't see where the jobs have been produced. All the government is doing right now is giving contracts to large business people. And that also very limited large business people. 5 or 6 or 7 business people who are close to the dispensation. And you know the names, I don't have to say the names. It's actually much worse than a suit boot sarkar. It is 5 or 6 suit boots ki sarkar. The Congress party in the last 10 years produced the fastest growth rate this country has ever seen. The reason we produced the fastest growth rate was because we were sending money to the poor. We were making poor people feel that they were part of this equation. If you in India do not make poor people feel that they are part of the equation, the poor people will stop the economic growth instantly. So these 2 things are connected, and you can't just disconnect them.